Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I'm Ola. This is my first video of the year, so happy new year to you guys. Also, it is February, so happy Black History Month. Today's video is going to be a love letter to Black people. I will be highlighting Black people in the diaspora that I think are doing phenomenal and dynamic things in the spaces that they occupy. By no means is this list exhaustive, and to be quite frank, you probably have heard of some of these people that I will be naming. If not, definitely feel free to leave your favorites in the comments down below. I'm always looking to be inspired by people who are just doing phenomenal things in their space. This list is going to cover home, art and film, style, and what is so important to me right now is community. So before I start today's video, I just want to say thank you to the now 20,000 of you. It feels surreal, a little bit overwhelming, but in a very good way. I just never thought that people would watch my videos and actually take something away from it. Yeah, with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, so before I really get into this list, I do want to highlight a neighborhood in Los Angeles called Altadena. It is a culturally diverse neighborhood that was historically Black due to de facto redlining practices that continued even though it was outlawed. Altadena, along with the Pacific Palisades, were neighborhoods in Los Angeles that were devastated by the wildfires. I know that LA gets a really bad rep about being rich and famous and everyone here makes a lot of money, and that is true. However, the opposite is also true. There are a lot of middle class families, working class families that lived in these neighborhoods that would not be able to afford the homes at what they're valued today, and it will take years for it to rebuild back that sense of community if it doesn't get lost to gentrification. I wanted to bring this up because I do live in Los Angeles, and it was very heartbreaking to see a lot of the devastation last month. If you feel compelled to donate directly to these families that have lost their homes, I'm going to put some links and resources in the description down below. If you are in Los Angeles, definitely think about donating your time, whether through volunteering. I will also put links in the description. Yeah, and on this channel I talk about home, and I would be remiss if I did not bring that up. So definitely feel free to do what your heart desires. But yeah, let's really get into today's video. First on the list is Justina Blakeney. She is a designer, an artist. She owns a company called The Jungalo, and they also sell a line at Target, I think Bloomingdale's, and she has a collection with Ruggable. She used to sell things on her website, The Jungalo, but I think last year they closed the shop down. 2 years ago, she had an Architectural Digest home tour. She's like the perfect representation of bohemian maximalist, and while I don't completely identify with bohemian, I do love elements of it. I just really enjoyed watching her home tour because a lot of the things in her home she's designed, and I feel like a lot of the pieces that are in her place also tell a story about her travels, her kids, her family. I just feel like her home really represents her, and it's just beautiful to see a maximalist home in what I feel like is a sea of minimalism. I honestly do feel like we're veering away from that, but it's just beautiful to see color-drenched rooms, bold patterns, bold colors, textures. I just really enjoyed her home tour. And I love the stuff that she sells too. Like, I have a pillow by her. This is also from Opal House Target, but this is like years old. I don't know if this was designed by Justina, but it is from Target. But yeah, I really enjoy Justina's approach to design. It's like Justina is the perfect example of why live life quietly. Just be bold. And I think you guys will notice that almost everyone on this list after is very bold and intentional. All right, so my favorite person on this list is Maurice. He's a Los Angeles-based florist. He owns a floral studio called Bloom and Plume. He's just so phenomenal. I feel like he's a light in this world. He makes these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful floral arrangements that feel so sculptural. They feel like masterpieces. He's so bold, intentional with his use of color. I first found out about him because he did a floral arrangement for Melina Matsugas for Queen and Slim. And the moment I saw the picture, I clicked on his tag and I've been following him ever since. He has a series on his Instagram and TikTok called Capitalism Does Not Care About Your Creativity, and it is such a great way for him to inject his personality, but then also give like nuggets of wisdom that lie in the intersection of self-preservation and self-care. And I just enjoy watching him. He's funny. Maurice also has a bomb ass home, like very eclectic, very maximalist, color drenched rooms, very similar to Justina, but his tones are very muted and moody. He just comes across as very genuine and honest, and his art speaks in that manner too. Just phenomenal. Again, I think he's an incredible light in the world. He used to have a coffee shop in Echo Park as well. Unfortunately, he closed it down. But again, Maurice Harris is so fucking bomb. Excuse my language, but yeah, he's just cool as hell. All right, third person on this list is a visual artist that I found on Pinterest about 2 years ago. Her name is McKinney. She paints black women doing a very revolutionary thing, which is resting. Resting is such a revolutionary thing when black people, black women are always taught that they need to be strong and keep their head high and work twice as hard. And her work is very intimate, and most of it takes place inside the home. And there's just something very voyeuristic as a viewer, as a person who's looking at the painting. Like, I shouldn't be encroaching on this very intimateness that this person is having by themselves. Her work presents black women as very soft, like they're in their divine feminine, like they're rolling the weight of the world off their shoulders through acts of laying down on the couch, reading a book, smoking a cigarette. I think her work is extremely important simply because she shows black women in their essence, who they truly are when they don't have to perform in the world. Another thing that I really love about her work is the home itself that she paints just looks like beautiful places and beautiful spaces to be yourself in. And yeah, that's why I put her on this list. Okay, fourth on my list is Nadine Ijewere, and that is one of her photos. She's one of my favorite photographers. My dream is to be shot by her. I just love the way that she captures black people, people of color. She's so intentional. Her framing is amazing. Her work to me represents like the perfect dichotomy of like bold but muted, ethereal but sharp. I hope that makes sense. She has a brilliant understanding of colors and shapes, and I just love that the way she frames the photo, it allows you to think of the continuality of how it extends to the viewer. And what I mean by that is like this piece is literally coming out at you. And yeah, I just think she does such a brilliant job. Like, I really hope one day to be shot by her. All right, so next on the list is Moonlight, directed by Barry Jenkins, that came out in 2016. It was the first time that I ever saw color grading on dark skin that just looked phenomenally well. It just felt so rich, so saturated. The way the movie is filmed, it feels very dreamy, considering the fact that the subject matter is extremely dark and heavy. I also feel like Moonlight has influenced color grading of black skin or dark skin in film and TV. Like, if you think about Insecure, Queen and Slim, If Beale Street Could Talk, I think that's also another Barry Jenkins directed film. And low-key, I feel like it also influenced Get Out. That might not be true. However, I feel like this film set the precedent for how color grading should be done on black and dark skin. It's just so phenomenal, considering the fact that color film has such a ugly racist history. I won't get into the details about it. I will definitely link a video down below. It took wood, furniture, and chocolate candy to be photographed to finally get dark skin colored graded accurately. It's crazy. I was just reminded by Moonlight recently, so I definitely had to include it on the list. So next is Style. She's a content creator. She tells stories. She travels. Her name is Skylar Marche. I love her content. I love her style. I love the way she dresses. I love how experimental and quirky it is. Even when she travels, the content that she puts out for that is fire. And it looks like she's just having fun while she's doing it. And one thing that I really, really enjoy about her content the most is when she's partnering with brands, the stories that she's telling, the outputs of the work she does with brands is phenomenal. And for her and her partner to be behind that sort of idea machine, incredible. One of my favorite campaigns that she's done is with Gap. And man, I low-key felt like it could be a commercial, it could have been a short film, like just incredibly genius. All right, it's getting dark, so excuse the light that's literally on my face. So everyone on the list so far that I've mentioned, I've been following for at least 2 years. This person that I'm about to mention, I've recently discovered her on TikTok 3 months ago. She's a knitter. Her name is Ronti. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She knits these very cool textures. I think she's dubbed it Romanesco. I also love the way she weaves her knits. I wanted to share her because she's starting a series where she knits her wedding dress, and she has 3 months to do it, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. Last on the list is a bookstore called Reparations Club. It is in LA, and it is Black woman owned. The store is such a beautiful space for those who are interested in checking it out. And if you want to read your book there, they also have space for you to do that. They also hold events. I went to one about 2 years ago. It's such a beautiful space, and it attracts very beautiful people. And I'm not speaking like physically beautiful, but like beautiful in mind. I wanted to highlight them because last year I think they started holding events for people who just want to read their book in the company of others. So you don't have to be at home reading your book alone, or wherever you go to read a book, you can read your book amongst other people too. I just think that's really cool. With that being said, happy Black History Month. It is one of my favorite months of the year because I think it's so important to give people their flowers while they're still around. And people are doing great things 365 days of the year, but to have a month to really celebrate and amplify voices is always, always, always necessary. So, thank you for watching today's video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.